Rams will get Jared Goff back in the starting lineup, and Aaron Donald will be playing after injuring his ribs last week. So, Shannon, who wins this one, and what is the score?
The Packers are one of the three hottest teams coming into the playoffs. I like the way they're playing. They're the hottest team, no question about it, in the NFC, Skip. And I'll be the first to admit that some of the competition that Aaron Rodgers has played against hadn't been the best. But, you know, going against Chicago, what Chicago represents defensively, that's a division opponent. And he did a number of them. I think that was the last game of the season. And he had a bye week to get up to, you know, he says he's felt the best he's felt at any point in time in his career this late in the season. And then he got a bye week on top of that. So I love that about them. And for me, Skip, when I look at the Rams, I trust everything about the Rams except the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands more times than anybody else, and that's Jared Goff. He's a turnover. He's an accident waiting to happen. And he's playing with a fractured thumb and in the cold weather. And so I believe the Packers defense, although not great, I believe they can coax a few turnovers out of him, be it fumbles or interceptions. Now, Aaron says he feels great. Aaron Donald played with a torn cartilage. Now, me, I had that injury in my
ribs.
In his rib, rib cartilage.
Yep.
I tore mine, and my rib ended up, when it came loose, Skip, my rib actually protrudes a little bit now because it's not intact, because the cartilage was torn. It was painful. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever had that, Skip, but sudden movements, and Aaron Donald is a sudden guy. Skip, he's not a two-gapping guy. And even if he was, I mean, just that thud to feel that you don't realize how much you use your core until it's injured. And then you realize the simple things, brushing your teeth, putting on your clothes, brushing your hair. Imagine trying to play NFL football, trying to move a 300-pound man against his will. Now you got 300 pounds man trying to move you against your will. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I know he's going to get some medication in there and to calm it down. And so it's going to be very interesting. His injury might not be as severe as mine. He might be able to tolerate more pain than I could. But that's not a very pleasant injury to play with. And given that, and everybody's looking for the matchup. Everybody was talking about it. You know what they're already talking about, Skip. 17 versus 20. They want to see Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae. Now, I'm not sure how much Jalen is going to travel. Now, I'm sure with Jalen lines up on the side, I don't know if he's going to follow him in the slot. I don't know if he's going to follow him left or right. But I'm loving to see that matchup because I know at some point in time, he's going to have to come out on the side in which Jalen's on. And everybody wants to see that matchup. I said this, DK Metcalf is tailor-made. If you were to say, give me a receiver, if Jalen Ramsey, you ask him to be honest, and you say, give me your perfect receiver that you like to cover one-on-one, DK Metcalf would be it. It's a big physical corner that doesn't have suddenness as far as wiggle, Skip. And he's just going to try to out-physical Jalen. And you don't realize how big Jalen is and how strong and how physical he is. So you turn it into a physicality matchup and not a mind matchup. Devontae is a little more slithery. And so that's what I want to see. How's he going to deal with that? But all that being said, Skip, I'm going to take the Packers. I'm going to say the Packers win 27-17, and they advance to the NFC Championship game.
A 10-point win for the Packers. Okay. I'm going to start with your man, Aaron Rodgers, the LeBron James of the National Football League.
Oh, he go there.
You say that. I don't, because LeBron is not the basketball GOAT either. He's the phony GOAT, and I believe this guy is the phony GOAT also.
Don't do that, Skip.
So, in all my time watching and studying Aaron Rodgers, I have never heard him, seen him more cocky confident than he's been this week. It felt like they were already in the Super Bowl because he has just been raving and gloating about, we finally got what we wanted. This is what I've spent my whole career vying for, that one time, that one playoff run through Lambeau Field, where we had 2 home playoff games to get to the Super Bowl. And you got it. And it feels like it's already a done deal with Aaron Rodgers mentally. We got this. We're cruising right into the Super Bowl. Maybe it'll be a Super Bowl I rematch. We haven't ever seen Green Bay versus Kansas City again, right? Maybe that's what, again, the seeding would tell you that those 2 number 1 seeds, with the only bye week that each conference has this year, would be just skating right on into the Super Bowl. Okay, then we've heard him go on and on about how This is the best he's ever felt at this time of the year. I'm less beat up. Maybe it's because I worked harder on my body in the off season. He got a little more conscientious with his nutrition and his
training,
fitness,
his legs.
And, everything is better. And he said, I just feel great right now. And he felt so great that he's been gloating a little bit between the lines. It's not like open gloating about the fact that his franchise finally decided last offseason, you know what? We see the beginning of the end of this man, Aaron Rodgers. So we got to go get a quarterback in the first round. And they went and got Jordan Love. And I think he's having a great time rubbing their nose in that this week. Although they haven't yet played a playoff game yet, he has had a phenomenal year. You could argue it's his best year that he's ever had, all things considered. He does have the one receiver Pro Football Focus now grades #1 is Devontae. But will he have Devontae the way he usually has Devontae against Jalen Ramsey? I'm doubting that. I'm doubting because I think Jalen will make it at least a little harder to get the ball as routinely and consistently as he does to Devontae. Okay. And then finally, Aaron has actually taken a lot of time to rave and gloat about how he volunteered this. He has now been selected to be a celebrity guest host on your show and my favorite show, Jeopardy. You were once on Jeopardy. And he's just been going on and on about he can't wait for that off-season moment that he gets to be the Alex Trebek of Jeopardy. He gets to stand
I'll be the host, coming off a Super Bowl, coming off an MVP.
Okay, so all that's been happening this week, and I'm thinking, gee, Aaron, do you realize who's coming to town?
Yeah, he's been practicing. Skip, you can do more than one thing. Jeez.
Do you realize this is the best defense in pro football? It just is. Do you realize it's the worst matchup he could have, even albeit at Lambeau Field? And I think it's not going to be brutally cold on Saturday. It's going to be late afternoon, early evening in Green Bay. But
they're supposed to snow tonight and tomorrow.
Okay, and there could be snow showers during the game. But the low is only 26 at bottom. That's going to be the bottom during the game. So it's not like one of those nights where you can't even play football.
Where the Rams been practicing? Indoors, in the sun. So 26 degrees to them when it's been 80 basically the whole year here.
Well, that's what he's counting on. But it is easier to play defense than offense in the cold. I think you would agree with that. And when I look at this Rams defense, as Pro Football Focus, your favorite website, says, this Rams defense, the pass defense, is downright terrifying, ranking #1 Pro Football coverage grade. And, of course, they rave, as you have raved for 4 years on this show, about Aaron Donald, saying he might have had his best year yet. I have told you before in years past, I've had my doubts because I watch full games and I don't even know that he's playing. A lot of those games have been against my Cowboys when did he play? I have to look at the sheet to say, did he get snapped? Oh, yeah, he played 75 plays in the game or whatever it was. Okay, so they're saying that this was the third time in his career he racked up at least 90 pressures. The rest of the NFL has combined for just 5 such seasons since Aaron Donald came into the league in 2014. Well, that's phenomenal. And I will be the first to attest. I've watched a bunch of Rams games. He is jumping off my screen now. He is unblockable.
You got to double him. If you don't double, if you skip, they put him all over the place. They put him in the 5, they put him in the wide 5, they put him in the 7, they play him in the under tackle. They put it. If you do not double him, he will hurt your QB.
And our man Troy Aikman said the other day, live on Fox on national TV, this is the greatest defensive player he's ever seen. And, of course, he played against Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White.
Bruce played against Bruce in the Super Bowl. Bruce got him in if I'm not, Bruce might have sacked him in the Super Bowl. So Troy has played against some great defensive players. He played with Charles Haley. He played against Charles Haley.
Good point.
He played against Dion. He played with Dion. And Skip, I'm telling you, and I think the thing is, and sometimes, Skip, we come in an era when it was a lot different, and it's hard to let go of things of the past. But he's as good. He played against Warren Sapp. He played against Johnny Randall. Skip, this young man is as good as it gets.
Okay, all right. So it's not just Jalen Ramsey we're talking about here, because Darius Williams has come out of nowhere and emerged as, dare I say,